really like my thing is gonna flow with what I'm doing, and the Steve Stoner wouldn't have went with what I'm doing with the videos anyway. But I wish I'd have gave that to you to have that video. That's what I meant in that space. Because it was actually clean.
I guess I'm gonna do one anyway.
Like it was actually clean. So I wish I was saying like I wouldn't have used that one after everybody, after we did everybody else, like everybody's things. But I wish I would have saved it because, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't know nobody. I didn't even. The funny thing about it is, like, I actually really expected Rudy to do it. So when you did it first, I was like, it threw me off so crazy.
Wait,
I'm like, I shouldn't have fucking. You know, like
you kind of Bacardi just. I heard you that last time.
I'm trying to. He just. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay.
Oh, I've been here.
You gotta relax, bro, because my AirPods aren't the best, so they don't. Yeah, go ahead. Y'all got it.
Oh, I mean, I heard them fine.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, Bacardi, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's why I've been talking to you. That's why I've been hearing you fine.
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to talk back to you, but you wasn't responding. You were just talking.
He was saying stuff like 4 or 5 times. You just kept barreling through it. I'm like, damn, maybe Bacardi can't hear it. I was just going.
Y'all know when Bacardi get to talking, that nigga gonna get to talking.
It wasn't about me not hearing him. It really more me just like saying the shit and looking away. Like, bro, I'm getting,
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't anything. It was just.
Turn yours down because you peak.
Bro, it's the same level as it was last time. I don't be touching it.
But you were peaking
last time.
Yeah, but then when I turned it, but y'all said it was too low. Y'all said it because I be moving back and forth.
Bro, it might just be that mic.
Never low. That shit is loud. I'm gonna keep it real.
What about now?
It's still peaking because you can hear it.
Bro, it's literally at the lowest. All right, what about now?
Maybe it's the damn mic.
Can y'all hear me now?
It might really be your computer audio at max. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the conflict of that.
I don't know.
I
only have issue on this stream.
Really?
Yes. This the same setup. This the same setup I have when I be fleeting. Yeah, it don't ever peak.
I couldn't tell you how I hear you because I'm hearing you just through my laptop. So it's like it's not even like. Oh, let me see if I can put my headphones on.
I was gonna say, yeah, whatever. We could just get started.
All right. Well, hey, man, we are back with another episode of Geekset Rewind. This time we are breaking down season 2, episode 3 of The Last of Us, and
it's crazy. We're almost halfway through the season.
Well, we getting 6. No, we getting 8, right?
We getting 7.
7. Good lord.
So like that's why I'm like we like.
Damn, it's short.
Bro, right off the we can never not hear you, bro. We can always hear you.
I wanted to make sure I had to put these headphones on me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, right off the rip, if you've been watching us, our predictions was wrong from last episode. Like I said, none of us got what we thought was going to happen moving forward. They were straight, but. I still enjoyed the episode. So as you know, like I said, we're going to try to make sure this says we're not talking over each other as much and everything like that. So we'll start off with you, Bacardi. What was your thoughts about this episode? And what do you rate it real quick?
I mean, I rated it. What are we doing out of 5? Is it 5?
Out of 5.
Yeah, because last time you was like 10, 20. You was going. Your ratings was everywhere.
I mean, I enjoyed that episode. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This one would probably be a 4 out of 5. I get a 4 out of 5. It's really a 5 because I feel like it's a good solid like wrap up to the second episode. You know what I'm saying? I think I kind of gave. I mean, I guess 4.5. Honestly, I would give 4.5. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I feel like it was a good wrap up to what we had to deal with the second episode, which was crazy. But I also feel like the halfway point that we got felt rushed a little bit. It felt rushed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? To get to like just to get to the end of the episode to know what we finna get. You know what I'm saying? Get into some real things. I feel like that half point rushed it.
Okay. All right. Didge, what about you? So, obviously me and you are the ones who played the game. And so with this episode, yeah.
I'm
Where
giving
you
it a
at?
3.5.
Okay.
3.5.
It was a good episode. Like if I was judging it just as the next episode in the season, how it progressed the story, I do think it did that really well. I would agree that some of the things kind of felt a little bit rushed, but some of the changes that they made, just I don't know how I'm liking it so far.
Okay, so that would make sense then, because like I said, I don't know changes. That makes a lot of sense.
Right. King, what about you? And how did you feel about this episode? And what are you rating it real quick?
Initially, I gave it a 3. Then I kind of sway over now to 3.5 with Didge. Only reason why I say that, and I like to hear that somebody who played the game feels how you feel about it. This change up, because I felt like it was a good transitional episode. It wasn't like a filler. It wasn't nothing like pointless. It definitely gave information on the Wolves and kind of like Abby and their group, and like how ruthless and reckless they really are as a whole. So I liked that part. What I didn't like was kind of how they rushed through the whole process of her recovery, of the town, them and them, doing their thing. Like all that kind of felt rushed. It kind of felt like we missed a lot. And then at the same token, I was more disappointed in the brothers' response.
Okay.
I guess I feel like I was expecting more, but then at the end of the day, like the way they set it up, I just there was nothing you could do. Like they just decided they wanted to be townspeople, so I was cool with that. If that's how y'all gonna go about it, they're not gonna do.
Right. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5 as well. Coincidentally though, I actually rock with the changes because, and the reason why I rock with the changes is that for me, watching The Last of Us series, I'm trying to see what they do different and what story that they're telling, right? And so, because granted, like I said, we did miss a lot on her processing it, but in the game, when we finally jump back to Ellie, we don't like she's ready to she's just going for Abby right at that point. So like that's kind of like coincides with the game. They just told it differently. In hers, it was just really like, all right, I'm there. We just going. It wasn't even a moment of her going through therapy or anything like that. Like after it cuts straight to Abby, when it cuts back to Ellie, is Ellie like, all right, we shipping out. And the only difference that that was glaring to me is the difference in Tommy. In Tommy, in the game, he was a hothead. So when that moment, like they said in last episode, he was there instead of old girl. And so when that happened, he lied to Ellie and he went out on his own to try to find Abby and everything like that. So it was like, that was the difference.
So in the game, Tommy was Dina, or Tommy was
in the game,
pretty much
everything that Dina did in the show. So like when the two people who were out on patrol together were Tommy and Joel. Tommy was there when Joel saved Abby. Tommy was there when Joel died. Like
that's the tutorial that we were talking about.
So it's a switch.
Yep. So like that was the only glaring change.
Switch already the last episode because it was that.
However, we didn't know where, like, because what Deuces is talking about now is how Tommy reacted, and I thought they were going to give him more of a conflicted reaction.
Yeah,
he would still like you. I feel like you are losing a lot of his character to not have that reaction. How he went about it after Joel died, and I see they're trying to make him like the family man. He was still a family man. He just his rage.
Yeah. So that was I was going to say, that was just the main glaring change to me. And again, because the way I'm approaching The Last of Us and the world that they're creating, I'm accepting this Tommy that they're trying to portray and that they're doing. I mean, obviously with him, the way he was defending the town, and even the way the character is being played, you can already see the difference in characters, like, characteristics of him. So I agree with Diz. Like I said, they took some large changes, but I think that I already went in being acceptable to the changes, where if you didn't, then you're like, wait a minute, all right, I got to get used to this.
I mean, that's a big change. Like, that's a big character change.
It is.
It's going. I'm curious. Like there is so much now of the rest of this story that one change affects, and that's the thing where it's like now I really don't know how you are going to do so much of this other stuff. Like,
Ken, you say you didn't play the game, right? Or you just been watching?
Never played the game, but I also feel like they are taking elements of the game. Like in a sense, I feel like the Dina, I think she is, gonna have some issues later on, like in the game. I guess maybe with like being pregnant because the way they kind of set it up. So I think they're gonna follow that. But I'm also like hoping that there is something like a catalyst or a spark that will get Tommy to come help him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like deflating to see that the only person that was willing to help him was the old guy. What's his name?
I didn't need Fam to have a redemption arc.
They had to.
But you know what though? What I would say, I didn't need him to have a redemption arc. I didn't need Ellie to really have the fucking attitude still. Like, girl, get the fuck over.
No, because
like
I didn't like
he could have been doing like I'd rather Ellie had the redemption arc of being like, all right, he really do fuck with us. He just was drunk.
Appreciate you. At least something.
Yeah.
Was you sure it was friendly? Like, come on, bro.
I was fine with everything, like him standing up and like that. I don't feel like that was a part of the redemption arc. That was just another angry old man. Like that was, I understood.
Didn't it feel racist still to you?
Like
it still felt racist to me.
So
it still if you call somebody some bigots, but you also say like they can't fuck with us. Like you're saying, like they can't come here. This is our place in our town. These are
that's
people.
The hillbilly in them. You know what I mean? Like that's the country boy in them. So
it's like
he definitely gave that patriot a die.
Yeah, that part was fine. I didn't need something that's deep in. I didn't need that last
somebody
part.
food.
I hope that's not a smoke detector.
Yeah, like I hope I'm good. But no, I didn't need that last part of like, the handshake and everything. And it's like I get why she would do it in the moment, I guess, but it's like we didn't need that scene.
Right.
Nah.
So but before we get too deep into more elements of the episode, because I did want to talk about like the beats that they did hit that was similar to the game, right? That was like really dope because like that moment that Ellie had when she was mourning Joel and everything like that, and then even when she first went back to the house and she got the gun and she saw had the box with his watch and everything like that. They hit that 1v1, and in the game it was such an emotional moment because of how like it hit, also how the music played behind it and everything like that. Like so, like they did that very very well. That was pretty dope.
So I think one thing that I always remember from the last season when we did this reviews is I've always asked you guys because you guys are the guys who played it, like what part of the shows were game and what wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So even in that scene, like even where you described, or even as we going through this episode, like me not playing the game is like what really was game and what you know what I'm saying, and what was actual like great.
It seems like the emotional moments is where they're leaning in on making a little bit more canon. Because then that gives them a little bit more freedom. Because you got to think when the cut scenes happen in the game, some of them are like really, really, really like powerful. Like that was why The Last of Us as a game became such a big thing because everybody was like, "Yo, this right here."
It's about the drama scenes, like the action, the drama action.
Yeah. So even like the small changes that they made, but it still makes sense. Like when Dina and Ellie. Was like when she was like rape my kiss and everything like that. Like that moment, it was in the game as well. Where it was,
but again,
it was, but they kissed in the game because that was a big controversy. But the difference is when they had that, like when they was in the tent. The difference in the game is that actually furthered their relationship. Like they actually got together after that. Versus in the game. Dina still was like, with old boy.
Oh, so you still don't know. You still don't know.
Yeah, so that was a difference in the show that I was like, oh, wait, so now they're giving her this turmoil because this was a huge moment in the game where, like, oh, she got her girl. You know what I'm saying? But now, in this one, it's like, whoa.
Wait. You saying in the game?
In the game, in the game, that's where she got her girl. Here, they're going to play, it feels like they're playing the natural TV trope of, will they, won't they?
Yeah.
Oh no!
But I mean, I feel like even what King said though, it's like when she had the whole "I'm sick" thing moment. I'm sick, and
I think she's
we
pregnant
get
by the
that
Asian dude.
conversation about
Well,
Jesse.
she was. Hold on, she was pregnant in the game too by the Asian dude too.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Okay.
that. But what I'm saying is, I think that they just like how we talked about in the last episode, where you were saying that they gave you so much that you had to play with Abby so you can gain that emotion for her. I feel like what they're doing is they skipping all that shit. What they really doing now is they want you to be like, all right, look, Dina and her had this situation at the New Year's Eve party, and that's over, right? This was a closure of that to make them more friends, not potential lovers, because at the end of the day, she's pregnant by the Asian dude. That's why I think she said, go back to dude, and she was like, I did already. Like, that was like, okay, I'm not gay. That's what, even though she said it. You're gay, I'm not. I just want to know, what you thought of.
But I also feel like as them being kids, or even at the age, it's like that's that whole play back and forth. You don't know, like you're saying, like
I think that's just the thing. I think the way they're writing it, I think they're just skipping through shit. Like, I don't think they're trying to play it out the same way they did in the game. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's real life. I'm saying the way they're writing the emotions, they're trying to get straight to. They're getting past the game emotions and they're getting into the TV show. What I'm saying is the show is having more emotion because in the game, that was that moment where they solidified their relationship and then they was together at that point. This time, it's like, so that's the difference of it. It's like, oh shit, they not in the relationship. So it's like, all right, so now we got to deal with that. Like, that's why I think they said the will they won't they, because at this point,
what King was saying is he think that solidify that they won't.
And,
that'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting because that'd be completely different.
But I also think about it. That's the same thing with the Abby situation. They didn't need to give us Abby's backstory because remember they slid through it at the end of the first season and the last episode where it was like, you know how she feels, you know why she felt that way. So when you saw her pop up, fuck it now. Like, I think that's why they added the avalanche of the zombies. I think that's why they're I don't know, did they were the family was there I mean not the family, the religious group, were they in the game?
Yep. So they are in the game. So that's why
I love this so much because it's really more like it's really a movie dude or movie TV show dude really like challenging y'all. Y'all played the game already, so it's like y'all know in the sense how the story flows.
And that's what I'm saying. Like some of the stuff it's tough though because we would want to rebuttal, but it's going to ruin the story. So we just kind of
So it's like
I believe HBO does this because they did the same thing with Game of Thrones, where this will not be considered a full remake of the game, but a somewhat adaptation of the game.
Oh yeah,
because they got writers that could be like, well, we thought about because even I watched the after and they was like, yeah, we wanted y'all to feel that emotion. We wanted y'all to do this. We wanted y'all to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, they don't give a damn about this game. You know what I mean? Like they want to get to the. They want.
Well, they care enough because they definitely made enough. They care enough.
Yeah. Well,
I think what I felt was because I think the thing that caught me even at the end of this episode when they do like the whole roundup was they did make that statement like we are good at making this show about a dominant person really like taking in charge and Joe's gone. You know what I'm saying? So seeing Ellie take the lead on the horse, seeing Ellie be really like Ellie is Joe now. You know what I'm saying? And
but here's the thing.
And my thing is like I know what you're about to say, Deuces, but it's like I'm saying like if you haven't played the game, that is literally what the second game you're saying is.
Yeah.
But as a watcher, you have to really look at all those many like nuances that shows that Ellie really grasped on to Joe, and now she's Joe, and she's gonna have a really great, you know what I'm saying, like season of story, because you finna get that same action that you got out of Joe, out of out of Ellie. So it's like I saw that if you watch the last episode, like and go through it, it's like that's what it made me feel that way. Even with having, I didn't know old girl would probably be pregnant. That's really came to me now. We talking about it, but
because you got to think she already saw so much death and destruction before. So why is she getting queasy now at this time?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But
even what you said, it might be the smell. I'm like, oh nah, that
that
don't make
does
sense
it gives Ellie, for me watching as a person who played the game, ain't played the game. I'm like, okay, I just immediately was like, all right,
Yeah.
Ellie can have a challenge with her, even though they've been together forever, whatever. Something's weird can happen with them, which they kind of showed in trailers. But it's like they finna have their moments because these are the couple. This is the couple now for the new season.
So I want to do something interesting for y'all too, and me and Didge will chime in regards to this regard. But I want to talk. I do want to point out and highlight the things that were the same and the things that were different, and then we can talk about saying in general the episode. So obviously, like I said, the things that changed was, like I said, you had the Dino relationship in regards to that. Ellie's last moment, they actually did talk on the porch, which we might still get a flashback to it. That might not have been the last one that we seen. That's kind of been theorized a lot, but she
did tell the therapist that they didn't talk.
Yeah.
But she might, but also she could be lying, because that's why I said that therapist, that one, she's a liar. So hold on. And then when she went back to the crib, with the flowers and everything, again, another emotional moment, but with the flowers all along the house, like that, from that point, from when she got to the house until when she went to the grave site, that was all kind of like 1v1, maybe shot a little bit different, but that was exactly what was going on in regards to that. Things that they added that was different, like when Ellie ended up going out, there was no council. There was no, let's see if I can rally some people. Ellie was gun-ho, like, fuck that, I'm on there. And then the people, the Seraphites, they don't come in the game that early. Like I said, that's a whole different time frame before you get to them. It's like you well on your journey and everything in regards to that. So those are the things that happened. And then also Ellie's recovery didn't take that long. Ellie's recovery was 3
months.
Yeah, it was not 3 months. It was within that same week, Ellie was like, fuck it, I'm riding out, let's go. So I wanted to say, even with that, like I said, knowing the Tommy difference, the Ellie difference, and everything like that, I wanted to kind of get you guys' take on, with outside of like you guys are not referencing the game, but as show watchers, how are you guys liking the progression of the show? We'll start with you, King.
Yeah.
The progression is good. I think it is. So this is hard to say because I have to think about all the series that are only 6 to 8 episodes, right?
Okay.
And when I think about that, I feel I just watched 1/8 episode, and by the episode 4, we were kind of past where they are here, because it was I feel like here you're only gonna get halfway when they get there. You know what I'm saying? When the next episode, I'm just I'm hoping for more of conflict, or not conflict, or engagement. I want them to be fighting the next episode, because this episode I feel they here, but you still got to get there. You in Seattle, but you got to get to basically their fortress or whatever they got going on, and I feel that's going to be a journey all by itself. We may get one more episode of kind of bullshit, of transition, and then they'll end it on a cliffhanger of we got into it at some warehouse or some this, and then somebody found us from their spot. How they set it up always. That's TV. They always do that where, oh shit, we got a one fire to jump into another one, and this is what we really came here for. That's what I feel that's going to be, especially if you're saying it's only 7 episodes.
Right. So, Bacardi, for you, how is the progression of the show for you?
I think really crazy though is the fact that y'all changed it. The fact that I didn't know, like I said, not playing the game, so I didn't know that Tommy and Abby, or not Abby, but Tommy and Dina made that big of a difference in the game.
Yeah.
So even watching the show and being in the space of just what's going on, everything in the show, how it ran so far, I actually expected it. You're saying there was nothing,
makes sense.
That there was nothing that was okay. You know what I'm saying? Why would Tommy want to help them when he just did a whole fight in this? You know what I'm saying? I get it, and I do get it. That's why I love that. Like I love the energy. I do get it, but Joe gone, bro. You can't be the nigga that leaves too. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't leave too. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so if you watch Walking Dead, shit like that, like these are all about like leadership roles and how much we care about people and what we do. Like it's all about that. It's just survival. It's just survival. So
well,
it's like sports.
Yeah. So this is where I was gonna ask Diz real quick though, because in that sense of like we're talking about revenge and everything like that, one of the things that kind of like even with Ellie and Tommy, they both had that rage of we just want to get that revenge, and now it's seemingly like she won't have that connection with Tommy because Tommy is the one that gave her in the game. Well, hold on real quick. And I'll let you go. I wanted to add this because Tommy is the one that really sets her ready. Like after he goes and he doesn't and he fails, Tommy's the one that sits down with her like, all right, you gotta go. Let me get you out there and give her the stuff. And then so I forgot who else who gives her the horse and stuff like that. But like yeah. So without that, so what was you about to say, Bacardi?
I was saying because I love foreshadowing in TV shows now. I feel like I was telling somebody before, I was like, the more we watch streaming, just because it's more shows you can watch over and over again, you can always see all the tropes. See what I'm saying? So I would love to see Jesse save everybody because they already call him in like the captain, like you know what I'm saying, like the pretty white boy that ain't gonna do shit, whatever. They already paid him like that. Like
yeah, he
Asian.
I was just gonna say you're Asian. Yeah, ain't you talking about the boyfriend?
Like damn.
I'm just saying. Damn. They paid him off.
Oh yeah, you're right. They call him Wyoming or something like that, or
Captain Wyoming.
Captain Wyoming.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like I said, with the change and everything, it's like ooh, hold on. I just lost Tell me the question again.
I said, how are you feeling about the progression even with the changes?
I said already because I don't know the change, but like knowing them now, it's like the one big thing that I really enjoyed was like you're saying the fact of the change between Dina and Tommy only because, but I do agree. Like I feel like Tommy should have been the one. Even in that story, I feel like Tommy should have been the one that brought the horse and everybody out. Like when Dina said like I got a guy, it should have been Tommy at least to solidify that he's with the cause, because he didn't never give her, like he did say yes, and I feel like my thing, like we know like the numbers of the yeses, but Tommy gave her the energy of like, I really am fucking with this, but we got to do legit shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even if they were changing his character to be like, you can't be like assholeish, you know what I'm saying? Like it's Ellie, it's like you would make the strength to show how much you're going for the cause.
Well, so this is where, like I said, even with the cause and everything like that, and understanding Ellie's mind and where she's at. So in the game, because she leaves so fast, she processes her grief on the road as she's going and on her journey. And this is like, it's going to be hard to kind of talk about because it's a huge spoiler in regards to it. But because of her journey, it impacts her choices and everything like that. And everything, throughout the whole thing. So now it seems like what they're doing is the questioning of how she is processing and everything like that. It seems like they're using Gail to be like that talking head is. Like how like when you watch the Boondocks, how Riley like at some point like
there's some wild shit, to really make sense.
I mean, not Riley. I mean, how Huey is the one that like he'll say like what the meaning of the episode is or what the underlining tone. I feel like they're using Gail instead of us showing that journey with Ellie. They're using Gail to be they're using her to be the let's point out what's going on with Ellie. And to me, I thought that was interesting.
I think that's sort of my thoughts right now on just this episode as a whole. Is like you made a lot of choices, I'm not sure if I like the choices. I guess they could be interesting choices. I kind of need to see how they pay off. I'm gonna admit this is the first time in this series where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like where this is going. Like
Really?
even in the first season, knowing what was coming, like with Joel's death and everything, like it's a sad situation, but it was compelling. And some of the choices that they're making right now, I don't know if what they're going to do is going to be compelling. Because it's like you wrote a script, you could have adapted it. You said that you wanted to expand on things. I get all that. I get you're gonna change some stuff, but the changes that they're making, and like I said, like Deuce was saying, it's really hard to go in depth about it. It drastically affects the story.
It really does.
It drastically affects the
story. It really does.
So my thing is, so I'll ask you this question for both of you guys who played the game. Is there any moment, like the fact that Tommy's not in it now, is there any moment that you can see that can be altered how the story is going? That you can see him coming to save it? It don't gotta be the end game. It don't gotta be the end game, but just to let you know that Tommy's is in for the fight. That he
so and this is without sharing. I'll let you go, King. I just want to say, just without spoiling anything, in the game, Ellie's maturity, her choices and everything like that, because it's a more Ellie-centric game, it comes about from her experiences. And I feel like what they're going to line up and set up is that is going to be assisted by Tommy instead of her coming in it on her own.
And it's a huge disservice to her character.
Yeah, so that's it. So King, what was you about to say?
I feel like that though with the
hold on. Let King, because he has something to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like the way you asked that question, Bacardi, for a person who watches a lot of series, right? I feel like this has been seen before, where the people who rescue you generally already counseled you, and you went against the grain, and then something happened where shit hit the fan, and now they're there. They're gonna pop up, but they're gonna pop up with a lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's what I'm like. The way they describe it, like the switch up, how, like you say, Tommy and his wife were, because I think they were the three that voted yes. You know, they were part of the three that voted yes, right? The wife, Tommy, and somebody else.
Oh, I don't think the wife voted yes.
I think it was Tommy. I think it was Tommy, Dina, and the old man.
No, Dina
in the crowd.
It was just the board.
It was just the board.
You're right. You're right.
I don't think the wife voted yes.
So
I think it was like somebody.
Wife,
oh, go ahead.
At the end, when they did the wrap up, the actress said it herself. Like,
I didn't watch it.
Because the way, and it wasn't because she just felt it. They said because the way Ellie approached it like a courtroom. She came at it as not talking about vengeance, but talking about justice, and not talking about justice for just her or Joel, but saying in the sense of have my back and I know I'll have yours in the future. The actress herself said she believed it wasn't a no, that it was a yes, and they were just simply outvoted. And the reason why I say it is like I think they will eventually be like, okay, per the guilt of knowing that these two young ladies who were part of our patrol did the wall, you know what I'm saying, Joel's people, they ran off. I think that's what's going to be the catch. That's what's going to be like the catalyst for a small group or whoever to be that savior or that, that cape, that fucking fly in and damn, man, shit going to get bad, but we don't know when. That's the only thing I don't know, because I feel like that's the thing about, like I said, HBO series. They will drag you, make you feel like there's hope, and then drag you some more. So we don't know. The only catch is it's 3 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 more episodes. I mean,
yeah. If HBO follows what they normally do, then episode 6 is going to be where it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Episode 6 is going to be where it's going to go.
Because my thing is like is my thing. What I'm asking is there another game in the works, or are we really closing this out?
So
2 seasons, wasn't it?
And so there's going to be 1 more season. So this game is theoretically would be split over the 2 seasons. The idea that most people hadn't, the way that they sort of talked about it prior to was, we got so much stuff that we can expand upon, so much stuff that it's only scratched the surface in the game. We
Which
can go deeper with it, and it's like there are. I feel like there are moments still, but it's just I don't know. Like I said, this is the first episode where I really like. I don't know. Things might go off rails.
Well, so to Dig's point, I think one of the reasons why they still got me is that I literally don't know where they're going to go because of the changes that they made. They literally changed a lot about this story, so I literally don't know how they're going to go. Me and Dave brought this up last episode, and we don't really understand what the season finale of this season is going to be. Like when you play the game in totality,
follow the first season of this game and show, they actually really threw a loop for all of y'all. Like we just enjoying the drama, but they really fucked up y'all heads.
Well, so here's why. Hold on. I'm gonna let you cook because I see you got something you got to say. This episode is the episode that would have let me know what a season finale is going to be, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why, because like I said, the death happened exactly around the time they was going to. We theorized that they was going to stretch it and put it at the end, but being that they didn't, we was like, all right, this makes sense. So now it's like, all right, depending on how they do the next episode, because in the game, like I said, you spend so much time with Abby, and then you go back with Ellie, and then you have, so it's like,
so we haven't seen everything y'all been talking about yet.
Yeah. So like the way that if we're just talking like match setup, it's pretty much like you see Ellie's training, you see Abby's training, and then you see Ellie's training, and then you get the battle, right? And so being that they like I said, because obviously because the way they put the position in the town, they had to get back to the town and everything. So I'm like, all right, cool, we got back to the town and everything. But I'm like, I don't know where they're going now, and because of some of the changes,
that's great. So I love this because y'all really can't say shit like that. Like y'all really can't really explain the game.
That makes me feel a little bit better. It's not. It's not that I don't like. I'm up for a new story, whatever. I don't care. Adaptation.
He's seen the whole series.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But
somebody said they saw the whole series.
And Novice, Novice. He's super famous and exclusive. He's super famous and exclusive. So
word.
So it's like I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised that that's not it's his favorite series. I'm not surprised that he worked on that. But the thing that has me the most worried about any of it is I've seen what HBO has done when they went off the rails. When they abandoned source material, I've seen how screwy things can get.
I made my point.
I like The Last of Us too much for them to pull what they have done the last few times. Because it wasn't just Game of Thrones.
I know, but Dish, here's where I still keep faith. Most of the time when they went off the rails, the people also who went off the rails was already thinking about their next step. And this team is still full Last of Us.
I don't know. I don't know if Craig Mass. I don't know if he on his next thing. I don't know what he got coming in the fight. Bro might have just got something and was like, all right, let me get this out of here. I definitely got PTSD.
Right. All right. So, like I said, moving forward in regards to it, like I said, so they kind of, like I said, do the jump cuts of showing Ellie and Dina, on the path. They have their moment, just talking about the kiss and everything. Again, like I said, close to what the game did and everything like that, but still hit on, like I said, but then they made that big change where it was like, all right, well, I guess they're not together no more. All right. So,
so in the game, was it just a cut scene or were there was it like a multi-choice thing? Like
no, it was a cut scene. It was a cut scene.
The story is they get together.
I guess a quick question I want to ask. Were there in Last of Us game for PlayStation? Were there actual just all cutscene dramas, or were there a lot of scenes of the quick action, you know what I'm saying, where you gotta pick a choice?
Oh, they had a perfect blend to me. Like that's why I love The Last of Us both games. They had a great blend of cutscenes, choose your decision scene, and like you know what I'm saying, like and like they
So
did
is
a
there
really good
multiple
job with
endings?
it.
Like, are there multiple endings to Last
No,
of Us?
it's
No, no, no,
not.
no, no, no,
It
no.
is very much a. That's what I'm saying. Like there is a set story.
There's a set
Okay,
story, and when we
okay,
get there, we'll talk about it. But yeah, there's a set
okay.
story.
That's
Yeah.
all.
So
In that space, all I need to know is that it's a set
I
story
got
with
yeah,
I
two
got one
endings.
question. I got
No,
one question about Dina and Ellie that has been bothering me this whole time.
what?
Was Ellie with Dina while she was pregnant?
Do you really
Well,
want that spoiler?
Was Ellie? I'm just asking because you're
yeah, you
saying
can ask
that
that.
she
You
was
gotta ask that in the
pregnant.
chat. You gotta ask
Yeah,
that in the chat.
that'll go into a lot. I will tell you off air.
I'm only asking because it affects how I feel about Ellie.
You gotta ask that in the chat.
All right. You know
I
what?
don't want to know the answer.
You know what?
Like I don't want to know the answer.
I don't want to know now.
Okay,
okay,
that's
all
Yeah.
probably
right.
for the best, actually. I would
But
rather you get all of that, fresh.
the one thing that I didn't like, the one thing that I did not like in this episode, and it also contributes to my 3.5, is that this wasn't a good introduction to the Seraphites. It in the game, when you hit that camp and you got to deal with them, it is trauma because, like I said, you used to dealing with Fedra. You know what I'm saying? You used to dealing with Wolf, so it's like these are tactical people that you got to deal with. You are dealing with
Yeah,
the
it seems like it.
wildlings. Yeah, you are dealing with the wildlings with the Seraphites, and they whistling. You like what the fuck is this
You don't know
whistling? You
what
don't
they're
know what's
doing. You
going.
don't know. Yeah, I get what
Yeah,
you're saying.
and I just feel like they didn't do a good justice of showing the beastiness of them. Right now, they just look hella vulnerable, and they was really beastie too in the game. Like,
But
So
even what you did explain right now, because even watching it, the episode, the whistling, I as somebody watching, I'm like, I don't know who the fuck these guys is. They got some shit going on. You know what I'm saying? But what we were already introduced to was the wolf, was Wolf. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So them showing that they were scared of Wolf means that Wolf already knew about them. And I feel like that the scene that we got was like how they felt about them. What we don't know
oh yeah, yeah,
how,
that's
you know what
true.
I'm saying? Like how Ellie and they team feels about them yet, which is still a you know what I'm saying, a story in itself. So I feel like that was really great to see that, like from someone who doesn't know the game, or how you saying about how you saying how they wasn't represented. It was like I just need to know they were a threat to the wolves, so they gonna be a threat
but
to
I
Ellie
mean,
in
in
it.
a
You know what I'm
sense,
saying?
but
Like
I think to Deuce's point, they don't feel like a threat to the
No, they
they
we
didn't.
showed
don't,
up
They
yeah,
seem
on
we
like
don't
big
screen,
know.
guns.
like they showed up on screen and they got massacred. And so it's
Right.
like
Yeah,
to
all they
Deuce's
did is
point,
made the wolves more of a monster,
Yeah,
but
it
we
definitely
don't
did.
know still
Yeah.
yet
but I think
how.
that's sort of what Deuce's is saying though. It's like in this game, you get real because you start seeing more different factions. You start seeing
Yep.
like, yo, almost everybody is a threat, and so you
It
start
should
now.
be.
But you don't get that feeling with this. That's what Deuces is saying.
Oh
It's
no,
you don't get the feeling of that everybody is a threat. Right now, all you know is
Yeah.
that Fedra is a threat because
Yeah.
you know it from before. You know that there are random raiders, and this group of people, they just look like little people who are getting picked off. They look like they just kind of
Yeah.
It was confusing because, and I hate to disagree with you. I hate to cut you off. They weren't little people because they had tactics. Like they had a system. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think they had guns because he was like, they was
No, they
rocking
had
No, no,
hammers and arrows.
they use hammers and arrows. So
Yeah.
so yes, what
this
you're
is perfect.
And that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yes,
I
what
agree
you're
with
saying.
you
Yeah, yeah,
because it made me feel like those were the last of them. Like I don't know if it was, but how the dad was talking to the daughter, like, where we headed, we'll know when we get there. Like, I don't know yet, type shit. Like, we were relocating. So to me, y'all introduced them, but then y'all killed them off
yeah.
right
So
away. And
and
I
that's
don't
what
know
I
if
was
I'm gonna
gonna
get
say.
more of them.
But see, that's
And
what I was going to say. So, remember, in this game, you're dealing with people with guns and everything like that. You're dealing with, like, with military vests and all of that, like tactical crews, right? So, the great thing about The Last of Us 2 is, like I said, when you're dealing with the Seraphites, you have to play the game differently, right? Because they don't use guns. They use bow and arrows, and they use hatchets and hammers and everything like that. And like they be climbing, like they are truly the wildlings. So it's like you're like, oh shit, and so to me, I just feel like. So, like to what Navis said, they did show how bad the wolves were, but I was like, you didn't have to sacrifice the sacrifice because to me there was also a great story and a great threat in the game. Yeah. They didn't have to say you could have showed both and then still show like even though we have both of these threats, the wolves are the bigger threat because you know what I'm saying. You could have did that. You didn't have to sacrifice them.
It kind of goes into the thing of and. It's very much a TV thing where it's like you needed the big bad. So it's like you kind of have to sacrifice the mini bads because you got to build up the big bad, especially over the course of the season. And again, it might work out at the end. So it's probably budget. But it's budget.
What's crazy to me, and I'm like, even hearing y'all I was waiting on everybody to get their shit off, is I looked at that shit completely different than all of that. Because like I said, not playing the game, whatever, I was thinking of completely like, since I've been watching the show in general, it always has a cloak of Walking Dead that I've already watched before. You know what I'm saying? Like it already had that cloak. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I watched that first. You know what I'm saying? So in this scene of even them showing this new coat, I thought everything was in motion from the moment that Ellie left the camp. So now we finna show that, yes, Fedra's a thing. There's multiple factions of camps that are a problem. There's Wolf, there's a big problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all these things and, like, tasks that Ellie's going to encounter. So I felt like this group of guys, and like I said, I didn't know who they was until the end of the show. And they said it in the thing. Unless I missed it, like in the show, I didn't hear them ever call themselves Seraphites until I watched.
No, they didn't.
Oh, I don't recall if they did or not.
They didn't.
So I just saw them as another group, just as Wolf and just as Fedra, and the fact that Ellie is now finna go out into this. She's out in the world. Like, these are the niggas you got to deal with. It might be other groups that you might randomly get with. It might be other things. So it's like, even hearing y'all talk and be like, they didn't do this group, how good it is or whatever. It's like, I didn't think that was the main, like a big group. I thought they really were like a small group. And I was going to
say. So you just thought they were just a random.
Like, y'all kind of the energy of like thinking that it could be more groups in the world.
They had a whole faction. You had to go through their town, except they were like swamp lands and everything.
Even what y'all saying, though, I get what y'all saying because it's like the introduction of it. Because I still believe that Ellie's going to run into them and even try to even plead like, I saw these niggas kill y'all.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? And kind of get into
the leader had a daughter and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and try to get to a moment with them. Like, I know they're not gone from the series. But I felt like when I watched and saw that moment of them, it was like, this is just another group that might cross them. I'm maybe next episode it might be another group that I've never seen. That's another random group that might cross. You know what I'm saying?
That was my point about the.
I was gonna say to King's point, it kind of felt like though that it was a grand opening, grand closing for them, and I wanted to use that to sort of talk about this question of, and to be fair, Jamie already answered it the same way I was gonna answer it. They split this into 2 seasons. They better do more than they better do some of these damn side quests because you're not gonna otherwise
they got some side quests.
You better get some side quests. If you telling me that this game was worth being able to be 2 seasons, I better see some of them damn side quests then.
Absolutely.
The side quests add to the emotion of the game, which will add to the emotion of the show.
But I mean, I feel like the Bill and Frank, like I think, like first season we talked about earlier, the Bill and Frank is an expansion of a like not necessarily a side quest, but it's like
no. That was a whole expansion. In Bill and Frank, Bill and Frank, we learned
for that.
Yeah, we learned Bill and Frank,
but they didn't miss a lot of examples where they could have did that already.
Yeah, they already missed some moments. They already missed some beats already.
Like the only thing that I felt that was weird, like I said, like at the end of like watching the episode and equivalent to their roundup talking, they definitely like made sure they explained that, y'all remember Joe and Ellie, and now it's Ellie and Dina. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like, so it's almost like saying like we're gonna give you that same kind of drama, but just a different character. You know what I'm saying? Character swap, which is crazy. Like I would hate that, you know what I'm saying, as people that played the game, because that would change a lot of the story, but it's like you have to, it will completely change how y'all view it at all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So to ask in regards to it, with Wolf, did they successfully
come back.
did they successfully make Wolf seem like the huge threat to you guys?
At the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. To me. Or I ain't gonna say a huge threat, but at least one of the major threats.
Yeah.
Of the
of
Seattle.
I mean, I think the funny thing about it is like we live in a world where people think that like Ellie and Dean are gonna deal with that threat by themselves. But you know what I'm saying? Yes. It's like it was bigger than what they thought it was. Like exactly how life goes. You know what I'm saying?
Now, so for both of y'all, Bacardi and King, because like I said, we saw what we saw with Wolf at first was just Abby and her crew, right? Now you get introduced to this Wolf crew, and you see these niggas got tanks. They are very calculated. What was that moment for y'all? Like, did y'all was like, was it what you expected, or did they over exceed what you expected?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was right on point because even their gear to get out there, they had authentic military gear. So I knew you had a base, or you knew, or you confiscated it from somewhere. And the fact that it was a group of them, like they weren't trying to, like the fact that they looked at their town and was like, "Oh, that's cute." That let me know something, because like most people have been like, "Well, nigga, we can go back and take this over." You know what I'm saying? If we want to,
they were like, "We don't need that shit.
We don't give a damn about none of that. Like we finna
go. We
good.
We good in Seattle, bro. Like I don't need that little town."
So I definitely looked at it from that perspective. Like when they was patrolling, that was like the grand show of force. You know what I mean? Like how they do in Star Wars with the Empire. Like the only way they show that we own this is by walking the streets. Like we're walking the streets.
Oh yeah,
man.
In an apocalypse.
So I think it was great. I think it was great to show Manny or anybody that Dina actually like mentioned. It was great to show how small they were in the actual like system. You know what I'm saying? Like Manny didn't give no fuck about what's going on. Like, man, y'all told me to do this, and I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But it's like he already know what's coming down the line. Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She just missing a haircut.
Right. This is hilarious.
God, it's hilarious.
Dina played. She played Dora in that Dora Explorer movie.
Yep.
And she
had
the map. And she had the map, bro.
And she had the map.
Dog, y'all irritated.
Dora and the zombie apocalypse confirmed.
Yeah.
Bitch, for you, the wolf in the game versus the wolf that we're seeing in the show. How you feeling about it?
It's interesting. They feel way more organized here. Like they obviously they do. Like, they feel so organized in the game, but the amount of organization just that we saw in we probably got like 5 minutes of them, maybe even less. But like the amount of organization from the looking down, doing all of like the looking to the marching through the seats. I was like, bro, they are organized.
Bitch, wait, bitch. I was gonna say, bitch. To your point, in the game, I never felt like I couldn't defeat Wolf. Watching the show, I'm like, shit. I don't know what's going on.
I felt like some help. What I was gonna say though is like what I felt like the moment Joe left the show. I've been. Call me, hot take. You know what I'm saying? Hot take. The moment Joe left the show, people were pointing out obvious things that you were dealing with a human threat, and like made no regard to the fact, or even, you know what I'm saying, like how big it was. Like even with Ellie and Dina being where they were and having that moment of like, this was easy. Cause come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like,
but also you gotta remember their goal isn't to take down Wolf. That I think that's the other thing. Like we do have to make sure at the end of the day that they're not trying to take down Wolf.
But I mean,
they are literally
like,
just looking to find this one lady.
Even for Dina to have the moment of like doing all the scoping and do like, which I know we're gonna get into moments in next episodes of like them actually getting down to the nitty gritty. But I felt like it was such a careless. In some moments of my mind, it was a careless run to like do this without having no information about who you're really dealing with. Because I think that was my mindset was like, y'all haven't been outside these walls like that.
And well, so wait, I want to speak to that. So that's one of the changes that is kind of like because again, remember the recovery was shorter in the game. It made more sense why she didn't plan, why she just ran out, because it was pure off of hatred. Versus this time, he was like, "All right, you had all this time."
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I understand. Like, I just like.
Well, I want to push back on that. I want to push back on that still in the show, and I think Mike brings it up also in the comments. This is at the end of the day, we are still just seeing the onset of rage and grief, where it's like, she is still so mad. She tried, especially with having the council, she tried to do it the right way. She tried to get the people to be able to be like, yeah, sure, we were still going to leave immediately, but we were going to have more of a plan. And when she found out that, okay, the right way don't work, the rage and grief sort of takes over again. And it's like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I need to see her dead. That means I have to leave now. And that's why she leaves and does. So you're not thinking about, I need to make the right plan. But I feel like that's true to life.
I mean, no, it is. Like I said, it's a great thing. Like in cinematic, me watching the show, I believed even when everything that Ellie did. Like there's nothing I've watched of this show that, like I said, I haven't played the game, so everything for me is so believable. So like, yes, I call that. I call that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're directing this perfectly into making a drama of sorts, like for what this is. Like it's y'all as gamers where it's like, where's the conflict? Because I love it. Where's the conflict? You know, like, and it's because y'all seeing a different view on it. You know what I'm saying? In the sense. But I love it because I wish we got to play the game now to get y'all view of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a totally different outlook.
She's still to this point, and like I said, this is, I'm pretty sure this is Mike's favorite series. So I'm not surprised he's chiming in with the hits back to back. Even in the game, Ellie's not a planner. We knew
she's
that.
She's not.
She's never been a planner.
But okay, but wait a minute. But see, that's the thing though. Her journey into season 2. I mean, in the game too, it's her getting that maturity, getting that. I know, that's what I'm saying. So that's part of the change. That I'm like, that's why I said I don't know where this show's going, because they really did remove a lot of her journey, and so now I'm like I
said, when you hear the end of the story, in the last episode, and how they were saying they were directing this, and how they were saying like how Ellie was putting the rifle on her back and everything, is like they're directing her to be Joel. Like they're doing, and I'm saying that it might be bad or good, but they're in a sense redirecting the first season and the second season.
But that's what they did in the game. In the game, essentially, Ellie became Joel. But again, just like how Robin's supposed to be the better Batman and make better decisions, Ellie has moments where she makes better decisions, being a better Joel. But that's what I'm saying. As of right now, it seems like they're taking away that journey for those lessons, and they're going to use Tommy to be the beacon for her to be the end. That's a disservice to her character.
I actually think Ellie, like from seeing the what's coming up next in the season or whatever episode, whatever, I feel like Ellie's actually going to make way tougher decisions than in the game, because now there's a girl with a baby with her.
But that was in the game too.
Yeah, Dina was
all there in the game. I thought it was just her time in the game.
No.
In the game, Dina was there.
Dina was there. Dina was pregnant.
The only thing different in the game is that Tommy didn't go with them. It was a 3-man team. So it was a 3-man team in the game. It's a 2-man team now.
No. So
wasn't
Tommy had no. It is Dina and Ellie. What's missing is Tommy's rage. Tommy goes first and tries it on his own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So y'all just don't realize that Tommy gonna pop up later on in the game, like later in the show. Like
he is.
We don't know.
I believe that already. I believe that.
Yeah, that's the case. What we hoping for, but the reality is, he may or may not.
That'd be crazy. Now I would believe in y'all to say like if he never shows up no more after the season, and we just seeing Ellie, or you know what? Not even that though, because he can be the last person that pops up at the season finale of this season. Because we got another season, so
yeah,
I believe
that. Maybe, but that's
I forgot to ask.
You got to remember that they split it.
Oh, yeah, they split. That's the main thing.
We don't. If we're gonna keep this no game spoilers, we do got to keep the Dina news because they haven't said that in the show. You can infer from what happened, but if somebody is strictly show, they may not have caught on that, and so like us just went, oh yeah, she got a baby on the way. It's like they may not have known that.
Hold on, because every Easter egg video I've seen so far has talked about it freely. So I feel like we are in there. I'm talking about New Rock Stars. I'm talking about Heavy Spoilers, Screen Crush, Watch Mojo. We've all talked about it. Listen here. In this world, we just talked about this. In this world, at this point, there
are a lot of people who they haven't played the game and they don't want to know anything from the game.
But they'll watch those Easter egg videos. They'll watch those Easter egg videos.
That train of thought doesn't work because you have YouTube. When you go and watch YouTube, they don't give a damn about your feelings about it. Because I watch, and they literally said it like in the game this happened, but correlating to the story, we don't know if that's gonna happen. So it is what it is. Once it's played in the game, it's just part of history now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So nothing is exclusive anymore once you play it, once you beat the game.
Right. So to wrap up, I forgot to ask y'all last episode, so I'll ask y'all for this episode. What was your favorite moment of this episode?
Of this episode?
We're going to go first.
Yeah.
Oh, of this episode. This is a rough episode for me.
Actually, you know what?
From my conversation.
It's the funeral of Joe. Like that moment, that pause, that moment of them, like, because I knew, like, you knew when Ellie said, like, when he told her, like, where Joe was buried, it was like, she was like, well, I see when we gonna leave. So it was like, that, to me, I felt that was a time lapse in the sense of whatever was going on. So it's like, when you, I think everything went in motion and Dina coming in and telling we're gonna do this at 3 a.m. at dawn, whatever, like that was like that moment where it's like, all right, we finna get some shit now. We finna say goodbye. We finna say goodbye to Joe. Because Joe, I'm sorry, I finna do some dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying?
So mine is actually the same as Bacardi, so I'll say that first. Real quick, so that way we can get some variety. But my reason why it's the same as Bacardi is what I said earlier on in the episode. They matched a lot of beats 1v1, like seeing the flowers, because you got to think what the flowers symbolize. When you look at the flowers, some of them were new, some of them were old and rotten. That means that during that whole stint, that 3-month stint while Ellie was gone, people were still bringing flowers to show how much they respected Joel. Like you said, you know what I'm saying? And so that symbol, those symbolizations that they had there. But also, like, say, when she, like, said, open the box, when she hugged Joe's jacket and everything, like, it was just, and then
that's
even
all in the game.
Yeah, all in the game. Even the music that they played, the music hit exactly the same way. Like, I'm with Novice, bro. The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. So,
but do you also agree that The Last of Us is a cross you got to bear? You don't you got to keep that second half of that sentence.
Wait, I didn't see that. What you mean?
The second half. So he said The Last of Us is my favorite game. The Last of Us 2 is the cross that I have to bear.
Nah. Let's hear it. You already know. Y'all know my feelings about Last of Us 2. Me and Novice going to have a conversation, but And it's not that the game's bad. It's just like I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, but yeah, that's my favorite moment of the episode.
I'm gonna say mine. Oh, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say mine. And it could be very quick. It's the I did really like the council scene. Just because I do like the aspect of trying to rally the troops. It's a departure from
the wasn't in the game though too, right?
Departure from the game, so it gives you the idea of grief, but also living in a community, especially in a community that is that crazy. I saw the comment first, but it gives you that aspect of having to deal with your grief, your rage, in the same vein of you still have to think about what's better for the community. Where you could see a lot of people, even the Asian dude who stood up and he talked about it. He talked about how you are mad about what happened. You are afraid about what's going to come next with all of that, but how you rationalize that versus the needs of the community. So to see the different views of that, I thought it was good. I think that was a good addition. I wish they would have done more stuff like that if we're going to talk about expansions.
All right, King.
I think so. I kind of am in the same realm with Didge. My favorite part wasn't necessarily the whole council. My favorite part was when the old guy checked the shit out the Asian guy. Because to me, it wasn't even like he checked just the Asian guy. He kind of checked all of them.
He did.
One thing I feel is that without Joel, like Joel brought a sense of security because Joel had paranoia. Joel had like that overwhelming dad vibes, right? And I feel like that's the catch. Like everybody now is so relaxed when it's like, y'all still in the apocalypse, bro. And he was the only one that made perfect sense. Yeah, you want to talk about the food. You want to talk about, okay, I lost my sister. Who brought those to you? Right?
Yeah.
Y'all knew about that threat. Y'all had it secured. Wolf brought those zombies to your door. And so, not saying, y'all was supposed to rally the troops and everybody march out there, but they asked for 16 people to go out there and find who did this, right? That does not necessarily mean best people, though. But listen, that does not necessarily the trash at the house. But this is the catch to that, right? I'm sending my best to go find them. That does not mean engage. That means if you see, bro, they got a fucking army, we coming back home. So y'all living right now. Even your best right now, bro, is too relaxed. So that's the
problem. And how much of your best is still around?
Exactly.
And you know what? And also, one thing I want to say, I do love the fact that they kept that accurate like the game, because Joe was always on that. But I do want to ask, so it's clear, King would have been like, he would have voted yes. Did you voted yes or no?
Yeah, I'm voting
on the
yes.
council.
I would have voted yes.
I'm voting yes too. Bacardi?
Yeah, I'm voting yes because I know I wasn't gonna be going anywhere.
Oh no, you might have been one of them. They might have been one of the
best. I'm not Joe's brother. I'm not Joe's brother.
All right, no, last question. So in this community, you don't think you will be one of the best?
No, one of the best. I'd be one of the best with my shot at the spot. Like I'd be the best bartender or bar owner or whatever, but I ain't the best fucking hunter, nigga. Like.
Did you going? You going or you being one of the best or you not?
I'm just going. I'm probably not one of the best, to be honest. But I'm going because I would have still volunteered to go because I think I was there for the sense of revenge. Like I do.
So Joe, Joe saved your life at one point where you like I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going, like, bro.
Joe, I'm your soul enough. Like that's what I said in my life. I'm like Joe. I know who he is, and I fuck with him, and he's definitely a savior. But I'm not finna go. Like,
nah, nigga, I'm hunting wolves, man.
Unless I was already part of the patrol, and I've worked with Joe. I am not a farmer, regular ass nigga. Like, I want to be part of the 16. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying?
Can you go?
I'm going, bro. This is the thing that nobody thinking about. Okay, they left after that interaction solely for Joel. But now you're gonna go back, bro. If you even hear about Ellie, you even see a picture, you going back. Like that's what none of them at that thinking about the fact that, like old man said, they gonna come back and they gonna laugh because they gonna say, look, y'all still sitting in the same place with the same people. And that's another thing. You not growing. Y'all not doing nothing but sitting there having babies and having kids. Y'all not prepared for another attack. So your best bet, since you ain't left this wall in probably 7 years now, you might want to go see what's going on around you and go see how far that threat is.
To your point, I think that's why Mike said we ain't going nowhere until we fix that damn wall.
Like, nigga, y'all gotta say niggas out in the wall ain't shit. Nigga, the wall ain't shit.
Well, they was working on it. They was working on it.
That wall got proven, bro, by one. What was it? The one. All it took was one to bust through. Who cares?
He was They had the whole horde was kind of hitting against it, and he
was backing them up. Yeah,
he was the last. He was like the last, like the last cannonball.
That shit like a
Ellie said, Ellie was being petty. She was like, you know, like the wall. I mean, that wasn't shit.
It wasn't shit.
She
wasn't shit.
But
that probably swayed 3 votes right there. That sentence.
But that's what I want to know from y'all in the comments, man. 1, what did y'all rate this episode? 2, what was your favorite moment? 3, are you on the council saying yes or no? And 4, are you going as part of the 16 as the best? Or are you staying back? But as always, man,
I would have been the 17th, by the way. They'd have still had the 16 other. I'd have waited till all 16.
I definitely would have tagged along.
Just to let y'all know I'm going.
I'm tagging along no matter what. Hey, I'm hunting wolves. But as always, man, this is the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together, and we are out. Peace.
The one thing that I absolutely love about the culture is that it's still embedded in Black culture.
White geeks still rock Dunks or Jordans, and they also talk about Batman versus Superman. Batman and versus Superman is literally Brown versus Jordan.
Dragon Ball Z, that like my whole trajectory in life changed. Don't nobody talk to me, my shit is on.
We just finna experience it. It look like it's gonna be real deep.
Oh my God, this is crazy!
The elevation from where King Vader started to now fucking crazy.
Black geek culture helped me through some of the highs in my life, some of the lows in my life. It's always been there, sort of like an undercurrent to everything that I did.
There was no term for it. It was just, this is what I'm doing.
I love us in it. I love the fact that we take things and we always make it better.